Welcome to Lunchtime Coaching. Joining me today, we have a very special guest who currently lives in South Africa, but is not from South Africa. But I will let you introduce yourself with that, Doc. I've had the privilege of working with him with his wonderful institute. And he's an executive coach, does international coaching and mentoring for various companies. Please welcome Dr. Emmanuel Imevbore. Is that right? Imevbore.
Yeah.
Hello, Doc. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. Thank you, Kevin, for this opportunity. I'm sure you want me to introduce myself. I'm just an individual like everybody trying to make a living, but beyond making a living, trying to make a difference. I live according to a philosophy that we are gifted by the Almighty God to make sustainable impact through positive influence. And I've been fortunate to go through life meeting people that have impacted me positively and have influenced me, including you, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, so in terms of background, I come from a family of academics. That's what we call ourselves. My father is 85 years old, but still very strong, retired professor. He must have been a professor now since I was perhaps 8 years old. That would be possibly about more than 50 years. And my mom also the owner of an educational institution. So that's my background. My father actually hoped that I will be a professor like him, having been the first son. You know how it is in Africa. Our first child, we usually will want to model them after us and so on. And that's how I ended up in academics, actually, but I didn't stay long enough to become a professor. I left and pursued my entrepreneurial, drive and so on, setting up a consulting firm in 1993, and I've been in private practice since then. I know you know more, and a few people know me more about coaching, about being a coach. And I'm sure we're going to talk a little more about that. I got into coaching about 20 years ago as an add-on to my management consulting. Perhaps the only other thing I should add is that I'm also a pastor, all right? And I'm married with 2 sons, both of them here in the universities here. One in University of Pretoria and the other one in University of Cape Town.
That's a mouthful. Thank you. I'm so glad that you could join us today for having this chat. I think one of the big questions that a lot of people still ask around coaching, and that I do come across corporates, especially corporates and organizations, large corporates and organizations. And I think maybe it is gradually changing, but don't you want to give us some relevance and importance of why coaching is so important today, and why having a coach really can take your life from here to there, and why organizations should consider this as a more active approach in how they do what they do on a regular basis, and considering the times, it could have a massive impact on so many people. But from your expertise, the relevance of and the importance of coaching, and why so many more people should do it.
Thank you very much. I think you see now we are talking more about coach and coaching, perhaps because of an increased awareness. But if we really want to be honest, a lot of us have been coaching, but perhaps not intentionally. You see, it is innate in us as human beings to always want to relate with people. We were not designed to live life loners, alone. And coaching brings that home. let's start with an individual. Here is somebody who has dreams, he has goals, he has ambitions, he has drives, he has desires, and so on, which is great. All right? In pursuing it, he comes across somebody who now we will call a coach, who, just like the football or sports coach, takes an interest in those goals, those dreams, those desires, as if it was his own or they were his own. And they now start working together. It simply helps to make life and the life journey a lot easier.
Yeah.
If I was to drive from Joburg to Cape Town, possibly about 11 hours drive, I could put on my radio and drive alone. How boring it will be and so on. But if I had somebody beside me and we are chatting, you know, we stop on the way and perhaps he also could drive. He drives maybe for 2 hours or things like that. We will still cover the same 11 hours, but it will be so much shorter. Have you sat with somebody at the plane and you just strike up a conversation and you start talking and you know you're going on a 2-hour flight or so on? The next thing you are hearing is we'll be touching down in 10 minutes. And it's like, wow, you know, compare that to somebody who is sitting all alone, you know, nobody to talk with. He keeps looking at his wristwatch. When are we touching down? And so on. Now, with these analogies and illustrations, simply is that you have a coach walking beside you, supporting you, encouraging you, challenging you, and if he already has the kind of experience you've had or you're going through, can give his own insight, can give his own experience and so on, simply to do 3 things. 1, help you to optimize whatever it is you need to optimize, skills, time, talents, or whatever. 2, improve your performance. 3, help your thinking in such a way that it's beyond just transformational, it is developmental. Now, that is the same thing that happens in an organization. An organization is not just an organization because it's physical, it's an organism. It's made up of people. That's why it grows. You understand? And an organization is just as good as the people that make it up. So when a coach comes in to work with the individuals in that organization with the same principles as like you are helping an individual, you are actually helping to grow the culture, the philosophy, the team, the perception, the leadership, management, how people relate, how they, you know, resolve conflicts, how they communicate, and all of that in an organization. I think why it is becoming more pronounced now is that we are seeing with the, you know, we always talk now about the VUCA world and so on. Things are changing so fast now. We are now realizing that, oh, you know what? Doing it alone is just not an option. You bring somebody from outside who is dispassionate. He is not involved in your politics. You know, he has no other interest other than the bottom line. He has no other interest other than you achieving your goals, helping you, working as if he's a member of the team. And it will only just increase, it will just improve and so on as the awareness increases.
I mean, it's so beautiful, you know, everything that you're touching on. And I think it's the way that you're compiling the information makes so much sense because going on a journey with anybody is always far better when you have that someone to bounce ideas off and maybe consider a different view, or maybe just get someone's insight. And preferably, yes, when someone has vested interest in the bottom line and not an emotional connection kind of thing. Considering the times that we find ourselves in, Doc, what is, in your opinion, what is really coming out, and what are you also noticing that people are really struggling with at the moment? Essentially, high performance is a great, it's a great attribute to have in an organization and in your own business. But considering the times we're living in, what is coming up for you, and how are you noticing what people are really struggling with?
Thank you for that. I think I must be, without sounding boastful, I must be speaking about 2, 3, 4 times a day to different people. Well, I'm involved with coaching in an organization. I possibly don't want to mention the name, all right, about 3 organizations, and I'm doing one-on-one coaching, with them. I'm still doing what I'm doing in Namibia, as you are aware of. There's something that runs through everyone. It is that nobody expected this COVID-19 situation. At the end of 2019, we all anticipated a 2020 that is going to be full of, yes, it's going to have its challenges, but then it's going to be one in which I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and so on, things like that. And, and then COVID-19 comes. We heard about it late last year, early this year in China, but it was so far-fetched.
Yeah.
Suddenly now, all right, we are forced to do 3 things. Number 1, we are forced now to activate, and I will expatiate on them, because these are the 3 things that are coming out. 1, to activate certain dormant potentials that we have. We're now forced to look inwards. If you ask a lot of people, part of the benefits of COVID-19, if there are benefits, is that now I have time now. I'm able now to think about certain things. There'd been lockdown. We were all busy and things like that. People now been able to look inwards and actually realize that, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. And why? Because of the second thing. So the first one is activation. They are activating a dormant or latent or unused potential or knowledge or skill that they had. But because of being busy, just going around from day to day and everything, it's been there. But now you are forced to cool down, stay home and things like that. It leads to the second thing, adaptation. The second is adapt. Human nature, just like any natural, you've got to survive, all right? So there are people who have been used to leaving the house 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to get to the office, all right?
Yeah.
And they stay maybe until 4 or 5. Now they have to operate in their living room or in their bedroom or wherever it is with a wife or maybe husband, with the children and so on, work remotely. And you still want to perform. You still want to be at the top, of your performance. Now, these are people that when they get back home in the evening, all they want to do is have family time and then sleep, and then tomorrow I continue. They've had now to adapt, just like, an animal that is forced now to change a biological system, rhythm, day, night. You understand? Now you have to adapt. You're at home, and that home now has to be office. You have your kids with you who ordinarily should be in school, but they're at home. They want your attention, all right? You've got to give them attention, but you have a deadline.
Yeah.
You're still working remotely, you know, and so on. Now, I'm a husband, I go out. My wife knows that when I've gone to work, I've gone to work. She will wait until I come back. But now I'm at home. So I'm on Zoom with Kevin, and she walks in and says, darling, can you help us with, because I'm at home.
Yeah.
All right. So now I have to adapt. But beyond that adaptation is the necessity to also go beyond surviving to thriving. How can you use the COVID-19 situation to actually get ahead, advance yourself, and so? And those are the things I've been doing as a coach. You know, that leads to the third thing, automation.
Yeah.
Zoom. I don't know if it's too late now to actually invest in, you know, shares of Zoom. It's gone. All right.
It would be such a good plan.
We all knew we need, you know, digital platforms. We need technology, you know, for our business. We need this, we all knew. All right. But perhaps we were dragging our feet, but we've got no choice now. We've got to automate. Now you sit in your bedroom and you are managing fleets, vehicles. You are managing hundreds of people, all right? You are doing things now that perhaps you thought you would do in 5, 10 years' time. So, yes, I know the COVID-19 situation has been challenging, but it's also brought its blessing in the sense that it has helped us to do at least these three. There are a few other things, but these are the three that stand out for me.
No, I absolutely love that, Doc. You know, activation, adaption, automation, it fits so well together with what the next step is of getting our brains on board to be able to get to that next step. One of the coaches I was chatting to this morning also said, you know, there's a sense of grief and a sense of loss that people are going through. And you know, it's part of that adaption because suddenly their normal and, you know, has completely been taken away. Everything how they built up their entire identity as an active executive or business owner, or suddenly that is completely taken away, and you almost have a sense of grief that you have to go through and adapt to the loss of that normal. But it's true, you know, getting that automation on board and what's the next thing, and you know, and that's also why we do these lunchtime series, because hopefully this really just shares some valuable information with people out there, and it's sort of twigs something for someone, and someone hears it and says, wow, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Doc, what I do want us to touch on is you are the head of the ICMI South Africa, and please tell us more about the ICMI. Why did you start this institute? What is it, and what is the vision?
Thank you. ICMI stands for International Coaching and Mentoring Institute. The idea of ICMI was birthed through an engagement that I had with the co-founder. I'm a co-founder and the managing director, of course. The co-founder is a gentleman called Tony Dovale. We traveled to Nigeria in 2012, and in the course of the process, we were actually working with some leaders in the National Assembly of Nigeria, you know, so these were lawmakers and so on. And as you know, when it comes to leadership, Africa seems to be, it's one of those areas that people talk about that, look, we in Africa, and it cascades down. So we felt that we could do something in our own little way. And so we talked about it, and we decided, that wasn't the name, we didn't have the name then, to be honest, but we decided that we were going to do something. Why the two of us? Combined at that time, we had coaching experience of possibly over 50 years. And we felt that we could contribute something in terms of helping to promote coaching across Africa, just because of what I had said earlier, what coaching could do, especially with leaders, all right? And beyond that, help people to go beyond coaching to being coaches. So our mantra almost is like, get a coach, become a coach. And you know, it's taken a few years before, you know, it came on board, but we are glad that it's here. So I tell people that ICMI offers value to people in 3 levels. The first level is it is a provider of top quality coaching solutions. Now, these include leadership coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, career coaching, business coaching, and you know, the whole spectrum of coaching.
Yes. Yes.
The second level of value is that it provides professional coach training to people that want to be certified and mentored and supported for life as professional coaches. We're going to see an upsurge in people wanting to be coaches because of, you know, just what we said a bit earlier. It's growing, it's, you know, people are becoming more aware, and they are realizing that, you know what, I don't need to go and have a special degree to become a coach. You're an engineer, you can become a coach. As a matter of fact, one of our managers, one of the people in our top management, is a metallurgical engineer. You know, you could be a finance person and you become a coach. You could be a medical doctor and become a coach. Now, people are realizing that they can actually use professional coaching techniques to improve themselves and improve their businesses and improve their leadership and so on.
Yeah.
The third level, of course, is ICMI is set up to provide a home. And I say that with all seriousness, a home, a community, a caring network for our trained professional coaches. So we are setting up, you know, this fraternity, global fraternity of coaches, whereby you can grow, you can develop as a coach, learn from people, because the greatest thing that happens to a coach is to have a coach. Peer coaching is key, and that's what we're doing in ICMI.
Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of time, Doc, but that's such a wonderful, and I'm thankfully part of the ICMI, so I get to speak to Doc all the time. Doc, if people want to get hold of you, I know that's the ICMI's got their website, the ic-mi.com. Where's the easiest? Where else can people get hold of you? Email, WhatsApp. What's the best ones?
Yeah, I think I'm best with WhatsApp and email. I'll provide it on the chat.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
I mean, I've got all your details here, and so everything here we'll put into the description link below. To wrap up today's session for lunchtime coaching, what can you leave us with some wisdom? And I know, because I know you have so much, leave us with some wisdom and something that we can take away from today, Coach.
Thank you. To make it easy for people to remember, I will use 3 P's. Or maybe I should make it 4 P's, all right?
Yeah.
Purpose.
Yes.
Pride.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
Precision.
Precision.
Purpose. We all need now to look inwards, like we said. Why am I here? What am I doing? Where am I going? And you need a coach actually to help you along there. The second one is pride. Pride, not because you are proud, but taking pride in whatever it is that you are doing. All right? If you're a leader, you're a manager, or whatever, even a cleaner, take pride in it. That leads to the third one, passion. Whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. That's how we grew up, being taught that you should. You don't do anything except you do it with passion. Yeah. And finally, precision. The world has changed so much now that there's very little margin for error. Whatever you do now, you've got to be precise. As a leader, as a manager, even as a housewife, you've got to be precise, you know, in all that we do. So I hope those 4 P's, all right, will help us in moving forward in whatever it is we want to do in life. And I would just want to thank you so much for this opportunity. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Doc. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for putting in all the effort and sharing your wisdom and sharing, you know, the insights, the activation, the adaption, the automation, purpose, pride, passion, precision. It's so beautiful to talk to you. It's always such a pleasure. I'm going to leave everyone with a quote today. Why not be a pineapple and stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside? Yeah. Thank you, Doc. Have a wonderful day, and I'll chat to you soon.
Thank you. Bye for now.